Now, let's take a look. In verse 16, it says, "For this is what you asked of the Lord your God on Horeb on the day of assembly, when you said, 'Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, or we will die.'" This is describing the people of which this prophet is essentially going to rise up.
For context, the point of contention is who the prophet in Deuteronomy 18 is when it says that God will raise up a prophet from among their brethren. I will address this shortly, but for now, let's hear what Korah, the scripture butcher, has to say.
From, correct?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Who is the prophet like Moses?
Jesus.
Let me ask you this. Did Jesus' people hear the voice of God?
Yep.
Okay, so then how can he be the prophet like Moses when verse 16 says that the people that the prophet is going to rise from is not going to hear the voice of the Lord?
This child is gambling with people's eternity, and we will not stand for it. I am not an eloquent speaker, but I can tell when a person is lying. Let's read the passage. "For this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, 'Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, or we will die.'" This passage describes an event recorded in Exodus 20:18 and onward. When the people at Horeb, Sinai, were afraid of dying from the sight and or voice of God, they asked to interact with a prophet instead of God directly. Let's read the account of this event. "Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. Then they said to Moses, 'You speak with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.'" The passage talks about the Israelites in the wilderness being afraid of God because of their sin. Therefore, the statement is referring to a past event and is written in the past tense. And even if we were to grant her claim, she still would not win the argument. Here's what Jesus said about not seeing or hearing God. "I have testimony weightier than that of John. For the works that the Father has given me to finish, the very works that I am doing, testify that the Father has sent me. And the Father who sent me has himself testified concerning me. You have never heard his voice nor seen his form." So Korah would still be wrong, because Jesus clearly tells the Jews that they had neither seen nor heard God since they rejected him. Then, in verses 45-47, he tells them that Moses wrote about him, which would include Deuteronomy 18. Let's read it. "But do not think I will accuse you before the Father. Your accuser is Moses, on whom your hopes are set. If you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me. But since you do not believe what he wrote, how are you going to believe what I say?"
So verse 18 says, "I will raise a prophet like me from your brethren." Now, who is Moses speaking to?
The Israelites.
All right, and is he speaking to the Israelites as a whole, the entirety of the nation, as if they are a singular person?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So the prophet is going to come from the brethren of the 12 tribes. Who's the brethren of the 12 tribes?
Ishmael.
"I pity this brother." Korah asks questions so she can gauge how much you know, and you can sometimes tell that she is shocked by the responses. If she realizes that you know your story well, she simply moves on and says, "Okay, perfect." Ishmael was Israel's uncle, and he was not one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Furthermore, God made these covenant promises specifically to the children of Israel.